So after months and months of waiting, a handful of lawmakers finally got a look at the so-called unredacted Jeffrey Epstein files. And in this explainer, we are going to break down exactly what they say they found, what was still being hidden, and the fight that is brewing right now to get the full story.
And that's the big question, isn't it? What is really being hidden inside those 2.7 million documents? Because while we've seen some names come out, the members of Congress who actually viewed these files, well, they're saying the real story, the entire network, is still being covered up. So let's get into what they found.
But first, you gotta understand just how hard it was for them to even see this information. This was not like going to the library and checking out a book. Oh no, it seems like the whole process was designed to be as difficult as possible. Okay, just picture this for a second. You're escorted to an empty floor in the Department of Justice building. To even log into the computer, they hand you a 24-page manual. There's no search bar, no easy way to find anything. You have to already know the specific number of a document you want to see and then manually hunt for its unredacted partner. It's a system that feels almost designed to make finding the truth a nightmare.
And what were they searching through? What was the size of this haystack? 2.7 million documents. I mean, that is just a staggering number. It really drives home how a few hours of looking can barely even scratch the surface of what's really in there.
But here's the thing, even with all those roadblocks, they did find things. And what they uncovered points to something way, way bigger and more organized than a lot of people ever thought. This quote right here from Congressman Jared Moskowitz is the bombshell. This is the heart of it. He's not talking about a few bad actors. He's describing a coordinated international operation. And the files, they actually pointed to specific places where this was happening.
And we're not talking about vague rumors here. The lawmakers saw actual communications, real messages that mentioned places like Paris, Russia, and the Czech Republic as locations where people were actively finding children for Epstein. This paints a very real, very concrete picture of a global network.
And the way they talked about it, it's just sickening. The language they found in these messages was completely dehumanizing. According to Moskowitz, they talked about trafficking children like it was a delivery service, just dropping off a package. It's chilling.
So if they saw all this clear evidence of a global ring, you'd think, great, case wide open. But that's where we hit the biggest wall they encountered, the redactions.
And this is the part that is so hard to believe. Remember, they were given access to the unredacted files. That was the whole point. But what they actually found was page after page of information that was still blacked out.
According to Congressman Ro Khanna's estimate, a jaw-dropping 70 to 80% of the files they looked at were still redacted. Let that sink in. Statements from survivors naming their attackers? Blacked out. Names of potential co-conspirators? Gone. This was supposed to be the unredacted set.
Now, the whole point of the Epstein Transparency Act, the law that made this viewing possible, was super clear. You redact things to protect the victims, and you redact things that could mess up an active investigation. That's it. But the congressmen who saw these files, they're basically saying, nope, that is not what is happening. They believe these redactions are being used to hide the names of powerful people involved.
And the proof? In just a 2-hour review session, they found at least 6 different men. Some even had their pictures in the file, whose names were blacked out for no clear legal reason. I mean, if they found 6 that quickly, just imagine how many more are hidden in the rest of those millions of documents.
So how did this happen? Well, it turns into this bureaucratic shell game. It seems the FBI redacted the files way back in March, even before the Transparency Act was law. Then, they just sent those already redacted files over to the DOJ. So when Congress is in the room asking DOJ officials, hey, why is this name blacked out? The answer they get is basically, we don't know. We got them this way. It's a perfect loop of no accountability.
And just when you think this can't get any more complicated, a whole new subplot opens up, and it involves the person right at the center of it all, Ghislaine Maxwell.
So right as all this is going on, Maxwell's lawyer comes out and makes this absolutely stunning public offer. She says Ghislaine is ready to tell everything, to talk fully and honestly. But there's a catch, only if she gets clemency. She is literally offering to trade secrets for her freedom.
And her behavior makes this offer seem even more suspicious. You see, when she met privately with the Deputy Attorney General, she apparently answered their questions. But when she had to appear before Congress, she pleaded the Fifth over and over again. Wouldn't say a thing.
So what is going on here? Why talk to one part of the government but clam up with another? Why dangle this carrot of information about powerful people in exchange for a get-out-of-jail-free card? It really makes you wonder, right? Is this a quid pro quo? A trade? I'll give you some big names, you give me my freedom?
So you put it all together. The shocking revelations, the outrageous redactions, and now Maxwell's potential deal, and it all sets the stage for what's coming next. This fight for the truth is far from over.
Okay, so here's what you need to watch for. Congress is going to formally petition the DOJ to release all those names that were improperly redacted. There's a big Judiciary Committee hearing coming up where they're going to confront top officials about this. And they're demanding answers on why Ghislaine Maxwell was quietly moved out of a maximum security prison.
And all of this leaves us with the one massive lingering question. After all the years, all the investigations, all the promises of transparency, with this tangled web of redactions and backroom deals, will we ever really know the full truth about Jeffrey Epstein and his network?